Welcome to another episode of the Mr. Mindful Minute podcast, where we touch on different things, on different areas of life, on how we could go from a nothing place to a something place. And today, what we're touching on is letting go. Why do we need to let go? Why some of the reasons we don't let go of things, and different categories of things that we could let go. So something that we could let go could be a person, it could be an experience, it could be a memory. These are all different, and it could be a thing, right? All different categories on where somewhere we may actually need to let go. And what does it mean when I say let go? Think about it in defined terms for a second. See, in defined terms, letting it go means you're releasing it. You're setting it free. You are no longer in possession of it. And see the beauty in that for just a second. Because sometimes when we hold on to something so tight, it can be damaging it, or it could be even damaging us. And see, we believe that by letting it go, sometimes we could be losing it. But also, there can be something that you may need to let go, and by you letting it go, you are actually gaining it. And you may be thinking, well, there's no possible way that I could be letting something go and I'm actually gaining it. I lost it. It's not there. I don't have it anymore. It doesn't make sense. I'm going to make it make sense for you. So when you look at it from this standpoint, you may have a experience. And with this experience that you had, and I'm going to actually break down whether it's a good or bad experience. And obviously, we have no idea of the defined term good or bad. You know, we define good or bad based upon how it makes us feel, how we're feeling at the time. That's how we determine good or bad. And that is not what dictates good or bad, because something that may seem good for you could actually in turn be bad for you. And something that seems bad for you can actually be in turn really good for you. And the way that something can be bad for you and it seemed good, so you may be at a place where you never had no negative experiences in life. Everything is very, very comfortable, right? And because everything is so comfortable, you may now lose the ability to know how to actually problem solve, because everything was handed to you, or everything was so comfortable. And when things are so comfortable, we get complacent. We don't look for ways to improve because it's comfortable. And so think about the last time things were going comfortably for you and you looked for how you can improve it. Now, I'm not saying that everybody's going to do this, but most of us, when things is pretty comfortable, it's pretty sweet, we are good where it's at. We're not looking for anything to improve. And the problem with that is when tragedy strikes, when problems come, when a fork in the road actually is met, we don't know what to do, because the comfortability removed our ability to be a critical thinker. And so it happens a lot. You know, we have our electronic devices, and because of the electronic devices, you know, think about the last time you was like, I'm gonna think about how to solve this mathematical problem. Most of us don't do that. Most of us just say, I'm going to pull out my calculator and I'm going to tally it up on my phone. It's that simple. But what is happening is we're losing our ability to be a critical thinker. And that is why we want to let go the idea of being comfortable all the time. We want to let go the idea of I'll get to it when I meet that problem. When I get to that crossroads, when I get to that bridge, that's when I'll cross it. No, we want to actually develop the ability to have foresight and to actually say, all right, even though things are comfortable, things are good, is there something in here that I can improve? So letting go of the idea of comfortability, because comfortability, yes, it is an idea, because in that idea of things are, I'm comfortable, is the idea of it doesn't need to be improved. It's okay where it's at. That's one thing on, a place where we could actually be at. So what's something else? So something else is we may want to let go of the fact that we have a trauma, we have a hurt, we have a pain. The reason that we need to let it go is because our bodies, our minds, we remember trauma just as much as we remember pain, and we equally remember setbacks. Now, here's how the brain actually works. Joy and good feelings leave an impression on the brain. It's almost like it stamps it there, right? It leaves a stamp, it leaves an imprint, right? What we call memories. And as we continue to look back on those memories, the imprint gets pushed down more and more and more. So think about it as if, you look at sand or you look at snow, and when you step your foot into it, you press down, the imprint is there. And then if you press down a little more, the imprint it keeps getting there. It keeps pressing on. It keeps pressing on. But what happens is waves can come and it will move it, or rain will come and it'll take it away just a little bit. Or more sand will come and it'll cover it up some. Or more snow will come and it'll cover it up some. So the imprint is still there because it was left. But when more things tend to come, more memories, right? More experiences, and we're talking about good, it kind of compress it down, but it almost covers it up. But it's still there. We still remember them, right? Because it left an impression. But with our bodies and our minds, how it retains pain and scars, it does it in a way where it's worse. It remembers it more than it remembers the joys and the pains. I don't know why that happens, but it does. And we know it can actually be likened to cement. When you have a bad experience in life, you have a trauma, you have a setback. When something like that actually happens, think about cement. When they're laying cement and somebody leave an imprint, they put their hand there, they put their foot there. When the cement dries, it doesn't matter what comes and lays over, unless it's more cement, you're going to always see it. It's going to forever be there. And so that is the same thing with our traumas, our pains, our hurts, our setbacks, our letdowns. The same exact thing tends to happen to us because our bodies retain that pain. This is why people tend to say you learn more from a setback than you do a win. See, the win was a joyous experience, i.e., the sand or the snow, right? But the setback, it was a bad experience, but it left a deeper impression. And see, the setbacks, they leave deeper impressions on us like cement. And because now, when we move forward in life and we see something going on, the first thing that we do is we say, oh, hold on, red flag. I remember this experience and this was the outcome. You still have that trauma. That impression is forever left upon you. It is cemented into your brain. But do you do that when you have good experiences? When, it's rare that we even say, oh man, I had this amazing experience. I went to this amazing place and it was so beautiful. And then you go somewhere else that is amazing and a beautiful, right? But that new amazing experience don't make you connect to the previous amazing experience. But a new trauma or setback or pain or letdown will automatically, most of us, connect back to the old pain and trauma that we actually had. Why? Because it was cemented into us. You, we have to let that go. We have to let those experiences go. Because it is hurting us. It is damaging us very deeply. And because it's damaging us very deeply, we have to let it go, because now we are moving in a way as that is going to happen again. But now, here's the beautiful thing about it. The beautiful thing about it is that could have actually gave you something. It did something for you. It strengthened you in a way. It helped you become more cautious, right? But that is a perspective that we have to choose to take on. We have to choose to take on the idea in the mindset of it was beneficial for me. It happened for me, not to me. And the reason that it happened for me is because I benefited from it. If something happens to you, you don't benefit from it. But if something happens for you, you benefit from it. And so even if an experience that you have in life, you are not pleasing of that experience, if you decide to take on the mindset of it happened for you, then you benefit from it. But if you decide to take on the mindset of it happened to you, then you do not benefit from it. You can make everything can be a benefit for you. Problems can be a benefit for you if you give them direction in your life. So where is another area in our life where we may need to let go? We may need to let go people. Sometimes we have to let go a person, right? And I don't necessarily always mean letting go an actual person, right? The physical being. I don't always mean that. So yes, you may sometimes need to let somebody go out of your life because they may be toxic. Y'all may just be toxic for each other. Y'all don't sharpen each other. They may be sharp, or you may be sharp and they may be dull, or you may be dull and y'all damaging each other. So y'all are not a good fit for each other, right? So, but I am also meaning you may need to let go of the idea that you have of a person. Let that go. Let go of the idea that you may even have on yourself. Let go of that person. The idea that you think that you have to be so perfect and you have to, measure up to the standard that everybody else is holding you to. Let that go. If it's not something that resonates with you, if you feel as though there is putting a lot of pressure on you, and you feel as though that you have to be somebody that you don't want to be somebody that you're not, let that idea of that person go. And so it may be an idea that you have on somebody else. Let that idea of that person go. Whether it's a parent, whether it's a spouse, whether it's a friend, a family member, a coworker, let go the idea that you have on the person, because understand everybody, has their own ideas of people, because everybody is in a category. So when we think of parent, in our minds, we assume that our parents is supposed to do this, and this. That is the idea that we have of that person. But that person may not be holding up to the idea that we have of them. And so now they're letting us down. Now we have this negative outlook on them. And so when we let go the idea of that person and just say who they are is who they are, and who they are presenting themselves to be is how I should handle myself. And so if they are presenting themselves to be somebody who is showing up for me, and I can rely on them, and they do stuff for me, and they have actions, and they show me an equal effort, they add value to my life, you hold them to that standard. But if there's somebody who they may seem like they are not efficient, they are not a go-getter, they don't get stuff done, you can't necessarily go to them to get consoling, they may seem judgmental, they don't prioritize you, they don't give you adequate attention. If that is how they are presenting themselves to you, then carry yourself about them. Have the idea, not just the idea, but approach them from how they are carrying themselves toward you. That way you can let go of the idea of what you think they should be, because everybody has different hats, right? Everybody has different hats that they have to put on, and each hat is categorized by the position that they have to play. And so think about it like this. You have roles, right? So in the different roles that you play, you have different hats. So you have the role, if you're a parent, you have the role of being a parent. That's a hat. You have the role of being a spouse. If you are a spouse, that's a hat. You have the role of being a child. That's a hat. You have the role of being a friend. You have the role of being a boss or owner or whatever it is. These are different hats. And when we put on these different hats, we have to actually play the role that it's fit for that position. And so it's no different. All of the different roles, all of the different hats are just your titles. Your title is your mom. Your title is your spouse. Your title is you're a child. Your title is you're somebody's friend. Your title is you're somebody's boss, you're an employee. These are all different titles. And whenever you have to be put into these different roles, into these different titles, you have a different hat to put on. And so when you have a different hat to put on, you have to know what role it is that you play with that hat. And I'm not saying you be a different person. I'm not saying you change who you are. But there are different qualities that you have to have, right? The qualities that you have, right, as a mom may not be the qualities that you have to have as a spouse. You don't have to be a parent to your spouse. Now, there are different things that you would do where these roles are interchangeable and they bridge over, yes, but not all of them. And so, as a spouse, right? As a spouse, this is a role. You don't have to play the same role as a spouse that you would to your friend. It's different. Does it make sense? I'm sure it does. And so when we think about it like that, we have to let go of the idea that we have on people. So sometimes we have to let go people physically out of our lives, and sometimes we have to let go the idea of a person out of our lives. So the physical person may stay, but the idea of them may need to go. What is something else that we may need to let go? We may need to let go things in our life. You know, we remember, if you remember the song Erykah Badu had, Bag Lady, right? And in the song, at the end of it, the song, she just kept saying, let it go, let it go, let it go, let it go. And she's talking about all of the stuff that you need to let go in your life, right? But I'm talking about, there's some physical things that we may just need to let go. Stop being a hoarder. Like, let some of these physical things go. You don't need all the stuff that you have. And the reason that I'm saying you need to let some of this stuff go, because there may be somebody else who needs it more than you do. And there may be things in your life that you want to receive, but you have not received it yet because you not have made room for it, so you didn't let it go. So once you start letting go some physical things, then you have room to receive something else. There may be a blessing that you are waiting for that you cannot get because you are holding on to so many things that you cannot be blessed with something new because you don't even have enough room to actually hold on to something new. Let go. Let go of some of that stuff. And, a saying that I heard, years ago was, the bigger the house is, the more things you need to put in the house to fill it up. So, and I'm not saying that it's anything wrong with having material possessions. I'm not saying that it's anything wrong with having a big house or anything like that. What I am saying is, sometimes in our life, in order for us to make room for other things, we have to let go of something. And in order for us to receive the blessing that we're looking to receive, we may have to bless somebody else. And by letting go of something, you could be blessing somebody else. And the biggest way to be blessed is to be a blessing to somebody. And so when we start letting go of things and seeing how we can, declutter, so to say, it makes us feel as though that we're not just being consumed with all of these possessions. And I just gotta, I gotta take and take and take and take and take. Something somebody said to me before was, I don't turn nothing down but my collar, right? And I thought that was a very interesting statement. And I was like, okay, I get the idea behind it. But there are some things that you just shouldn't, receive. Now, they even said, and again, I get the idea. They even said, if somebody gives me something, I just take it, even if I don't want it, because I may give it to somebody else. And what I'm saying is, that's a good idea, but we don't have to do that. We don't have to just take. Look, if we start giving away more, we make room and we declutter And so we allow more things to flow through. We allow more energy to flow through. We allow more air to circulate. Think about it like this. If you got a whole bunch of stuff in your room, right? And say your room is dirty and you got all this stuff in your room. And I remember as a kid, my mom used to say, oh, clean your room up, clean your room up, clean your room up. Yeah, I was that kid, right? And she would say, open the window in your room. Let some air circulate in here. So I would open the window. And when I opened the window, it still wasn't like that much circulation in the room. And the door was open. But it wasn't until I cleaned my room out and opened the window that more breeze was able to come through, that more air was able to circulate through. It was because I cleaned things out. I let some stuff go. You know, my mom would say, oh, well, go look through all of your old clothes, and your old clothes that you can't fit anymore and that you don't want, we're going to give them away to charity or to somebody or whatever. And I was like, I don't, it was shirts or clothes that I ain't wear in, I don't know how long, but I was just holding on to it. No, she like, let that stuff go. And so we allow more things to flow and circulate when we clean out, when we declutter. And so something else that we need to let go, we need to let go of some mindsets. We need to let go of some memories. And because it is so many things that we are holding on to in our minds, we cannot be fed anything else. Our minds can't hold anything else, no new stuff. Figuratively speaking, our minds have infinite abilities to remember. But when we let go of certain memories, and I'm talking, negative and things like that, when we let go of some of those things, then it allows new memories to actually be able to come in that are good. And so when we let that type of stuff go, the memory of something bad, the memory of, this person lied to me. This person, they manipulated this situation, or, we got that memory in our head. But when we let that go, then we can now, because the person may be sorry and they may be trying to receive your forgiveness and they may be trying to create new memories with you, but you can't allow no new memories to come in, any positive ones, because you are stopping any memories, anything to come in because of the bad memories that you're holding on to. So you can't receive any new good memories that they could be trying to create. So let go of some of those old memories that you have of people that have hurt you, especially people that's still in your life. Let those old memories go. You're going to keep them in your life, then let the old memories go. So new memories, good ones, can actually come in and replace them. And so I believe, the same way with, say an eating habit. You can't take something away without replacing it with something else and think that you are not going to go back to the thing that you took away. So for example, I'm vegan. When I stopped eating chicken, if I didn't replace the, chicken texture in my mind, or, having a substitute for it, then I would have went right back to chicken. And it's the same thing. When we substitute stuff, when we let certain things go, we have to replace it with something else. So if it's somebody in your life, or it's a memory that you have, let go of the old memories so you can replace the old memories with new ones and good ones and positive ones. Because holding on to those old memories, they're hurting you. They're hurting the relationship between you and that person if you still choosing to allow them to be in your life. Now, with something different, and I'm not even going to say it's something different, but if you choose to not have that person in your life, you still need to let those memories go, so you can allow someone new to put new memories in your life. Because if you don't let those old memories go of somebody else that is no longer in your life, then someone new still can't give you new memories because you're still blocking those memories, those things to actually happen. So we have to remember it is time for us to let go. Greatness is within you. So part of your greatness is letting things go. And so where do we want to let things go from? We want to let bad memories go from our minds so new memories can replace them. We want to let go of toxic people, right? So better people in our lives can come in. We want to let go of the idea of people that are in our lives so we can actually see them for who they actually are and accept them for who they actually are. We want to let go experiences, right? Traumas, hurts, pains, right? Because traumas, hurts, and pains leave an impression on us like cement. And the reason we let them go is because when new joyous things happen, they will continue to overshadow those trauma, hurts, and pains. And we also want to let go of things. We want to declutter. We want to declutter so new things can happen, so we can be a blessing to somebody else. So we can be my moment. Now, my moment that I have is I can remember when I was younger being, a sibling, and me and my sister, we used to, bicker back and forth, right? Just being siblings. I'm the younger, she's the older. And I can remember a time where we actually was doing something together, right? We were spending time together. We had, and it wasn't that really many experiences, because there's an age gap between us, and she was hanging out with her friends and I was hanging out with my friends. But I can remember an experience where I was actually in a fist fight with somebody. And in this fist fight with this person, I slipped in some oil, right? And the person, they was stomping me. Like, it is what it is. And she jumped right in there and pulled that person up off me and was like, oh no, we ain't about to let this happen. And she was like, if y'all gonna continue, then now y'all can continue. But she didn't beat them up or nothing because it was a kid, I was a kid or whatever. And then we can, when we fought or whatever, but that was an experience where I can remember where my sister actually jumped in my defense and helped me out. Now, later in years, I can remember also us being in school. Like, we both went to the same trade school to become mechanics. And there was a guy who was bothering her in the school. And he didn't know that I went to the school. And so she was like, oh, I'm going to get my brother. And, people usually hear that and be like, oh, whatever, I don't care. And when we went on break, she came and got me and was like, I told you I was going to go get my brother. And the person didn't even know that I was her brother. And I knew this guy. And he was like, oh, man, I didn't know that was your sister. And this, that, and the third. I apologize, blase. And, and that was it. And, she was sufficient with the apology and stuff like that. And so it's just crazy how things go full circle. Like, she came to my defense, when I was younger. And I ended up coming to her defense when we were older. So that's just one of my moments that I have. And so remember, greatness. Nobody starts at the finish line. You have to start somewhere. In order for you to get to where you're going, to meet that destination, you can't think that you're going to get there instantly. You're in control of how you feel. You're in control. You are the determining factor of your feelings. No one else can control how you feel. Remember, You're in control how you feel. So control your feelings.